Hello everyone, welcome to Manifest IAS. You are watching Current Jots. This is the crispest current affairs coverage that you can get. And in this particular initiative, we'll be covering the year-long current affairs in 60 odd videos. As now, we'll be discussing with science and technology current affairs. In that, I'll be discussing the basic science topics which are there in the news. In that particular thing, I have made a section that is on India's thrust into research and development. As part of this, we'll be looking into the India's participation in the global experiments or the global research and development. Later, in the next issue, we'll be looking into the science and technology initiatives that are being taken up in India or the indigenous technologies that we are developing in India. So as part of this India's thrust into research and development or the India's participation in the global experiments, we will be looking into the particular issues or the particular experiments like ITER, that is the International Thermonuclear Experiment Reactor, that is into nuclear fusion. Then CERN, this is the European neutrino, or you can take it as a general nuclear research center. Then we'll be looking into India's or India-based neutrino observatory. Then we'll be looking into the LIGO, that is the setup for observation of gravitational waves. Then we'll be looking into the setup for observation of antimatter also. Then lastly, we'll be looking into two telescopes, that is square kilometer array and 30-meter telescope. And when we look into all these worldwide experiments or the global experiments, there is a particular program in India for the exhibition of India's participation in these particular experiments, and that is called as the Vigyan Samagam. So as part of this particular issue, we will be looking into that Vigyan Samagam and all these experiments in which India is taking a active part. And at the end of this particular session, I'll be discussing the issue for the TEP, and this is the new initiative that is part of our bigger initiative, Current Jots. And in this issue for the TEP, we'll be discussing one particular non-academic question, and in this issue, I'll be discussing how much to read in science and technology for prelims. So let us start with the issue today. So the bigger part is Vigyan Samagam, and under that we will be discussing all the experiments which are taking place.
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
Vigyan Samagam, if you go to the meaning of it, it is the confluence of science. Confluence of science is nothing but the confluencing point of the world researches that are taking place, and India is contributing to these particular experiments in many ways. Maybe that is through human resource or through technical expertise or through knowledge, know-how about these particular concepts. And when we talk of the mega science events or the mega science experiments or the projects, it is nothing but the contribution of multidisciplinary aspects. Maybe that is laser, vacuum, optics, whatnot. So in these particular experiments, we'll be discussing multidimensional aspects. And to name these experiments, I have already named in the topic list. We'll be discussing these issues one by one. But before understanding all these experiments, we have to know a very fundamental thing. The universe is made up of the material particles, or we have to look into those fundamental particles. Those fundamental particles are explained through many models in the world, but the most accepted or the most accurate one is the standard model. The standard model, it talks about the particles which make the universe. You need not go too deeper into this particular topic, just you have to understand a very peripheral points in this one. That is, the whole universe is made up of 17 particles, among which some are the matter making particles, that is, they occupy a certain space, and other particles are there which don't occupy any space but they act as forces. So if you take such matter making particles or the particles which occupy some space, they are called as fermions. Fermions, there are 12 in number. These fermions occupy a certain space, and there are the divisions in those fermions also depending upon how they act with the stronger forces. You need not go into these aspects at all, that is quarks and the leptons. But you have to observe a very fundamental particles which are into research right now. One is the neutrinos. Neutrinos, they are into research and we are trying to observe these neutrinos with many setups like CERN, and also in India we are trying to build one India-based neutrino observatory. So we have to look into those aspects. And when it comes to the forces these don't occupy any kind of space. So such forces are nothing but four. There are four such forces among which we'll be discussing these forces. So there are strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force, and there is a electromagnetic force and the gravity force. Electromagnetic force, we have understood many aspects of that. We know electromagnetic spectrum, how the characteristic of these electromagnetic spectrum are harnessed in our day-to-day routine. That is very much understood. And the most unexplored part, that is the gravitation. We have to look into the gravitational waves. These gravitational waves also are the part of these particular bosons. These bosons are the forces which bind together the material particles. And there is one particular boson particle that is very much peculiar, and the observation of that is going on. This is that is nothing but Higgs boson. Boson particles are nothing but the forces. But when we come across this particular particle, that is Higgs boson particle, Higgs is a field. Higgs is a field, though these forces don't occupy any kind of space, but some of the experiments or the observations are telling that these particular waves or these particular particles, that is Higgs boson particles, occupy certain space. So here the Higgs is the field and the boson is the particle. So if you take the standard model, to brief it up, these are 17 particles among which 12 are matter making, they are called as fermions, and 4 are the forces, and one peculiar force is there, that is Higgs boson, and the observation of that is going on. So for our session today, these are very important. They are neutrinos, then the Higgs boson particles, and also the gravitational waves. What all are the experiments that are going on in the world, that we will see. So as part of the first experiment, we are taking the ITER. ITER, this is nothing but the International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor, and this particular reactor is based upon the nuclear fission. You must have understood what is nuclear fission. I will not be going into the depth of the nuclear fusion, but fusion is such a reaction where two smaller nuclei are fused together to get a bigger nucleus, but with a release of tremendous amount of energy. But to make this experiment successful, we need to carry out the fission first, then only the fusion can take place, because fission is necessary to create such an environment of high pressure and high temperature. So in this particular reactor, that is ITER, we are trying to make the fusion with the help of particular devices. They are called as tokamaks. And in these tokamaks, there is a particular phenomenon that is called as magnetic confinement, and through which we'll be trying to fuse two smaller nuclei. And in this experiment, we are trying to fuse the deuterium and the tritium. These are the isotopes of hydrogen. These are the isotopes of hydrogen. One is the 3 um, neutron, that is tritium, and one is 2 neutron atom. We are trying to fuse those nuclei to get the helium atom, and this is the source of the energy of the sun also, the nuclear fusion. So where the hydrogen isotopes bind together to form helium. So we are trying to understand this particular fusion reaction, or we are trying to carry it practically in a lab environment, that is through ITER. And what is the contribution of India to this? India is contributing to this particular experiment with the provision of a particular tokamak or the device, and its name is Aditya. You have to note, Aditya is the tokamak name through which India is trying to contribute to this experiment. And which all are the partners of this experiment? That is EU, China, India, Japan, South Korea, Russia, and USA. So the most developed nations are part of this thing, and India is also a very active partner of this one, and all the nations are contributing through the in-kind procurement, that is not through cash but through the devices that they are trying to contribute. So here we have to remember one thing. With this knowledge, we have to understand this fusion. So what is fusion, we have to look into. That is the basic part. And how the fusion reaction takes place, what is the necessary or the conducive environment, that we have to look into. And we have to understand about this ITR, who all are the partners and how they are contributing. And India has formally joined this since 2005, and the India's tokamak name is Aditya. That much we have to remember in this one. And next experiment is the INO. It is India-based neutrino observatory. And before that, we have to look into the European Organization's Nuclear Research Center, or CERN. CERN is such a facility where the fundamental researches are taking place. And this particular setup provides many accelerometers. These accelerometers help in passing the particles or the fundamental particles with a very high speed. With this very high speed, with the zero interference of the cosmic rays or some other waves which are present in the universe. So we go ahead with some of the experiments. So CERN, this is to understand the evolution of the universe. That means we are trying to understand the particles or the matter which is making the universe. And accelerator facilities which are provided by this particular CERN to many experiments. And so far, this CERN has achieved a lot. And the very important thing is the birth of the web has taken place, or this is the successful research of CERN. And Higgs boson, this is going on. Boson is a force and Higgs is a field, or together we call them as a Higgs boson particles. And Large Hadron Collider. With respect to the neutrino research, Large Hadron Collider has contributed a lot. And this is a L-shaped collider in which we try to observe the neutrinos. And through that, we could note down some of the characteristics of neutrinos also. And antimatter. So we have got a very good clue about antimatter also. And we have a particular research on antimatter. Later we'll be discussing that FAIR, that is the facility for antimatter research, we'll be looking into. Then we'll be seeing the INO. This is India-based neutrino observatory. Though we have not built it to the date, or the construction is going on. So here you need to understand this project has been jointly funded by DAE and DST. Most of India's research are being funded or are being promoted by DAE, that is Department for Atomic Energy, and DST, that is Department of Science and Technology. Department for Atomic Energy is directly under the control of PMO. DST, it is under Ministry of Science and Technology. And this particular setup is situated in Bodhi West Hills. This comes very closer to the Kerala border with Tamil Nadu. And why we have selected this particular location? Because we are constructing a tunnel under a big rock, and this rock is of the measurement 1200 meter. So we are doing the experiment here because there will be a minimum interference of the cosmic rays. So that is why we have selected this particular place. So as an aspirant, you have to know about the location of these Bodhi West Hills also, and you should be able to locate this. And we are using a iron calorimeter. How we have many accelerator facilities in CERN, similar to that, we have an iron calorimeter through which we are trying to observe the neutrinos. And when we have seen the fundamental particles or the standard model, we have seen the neutrinos there. Neutrinos come under the lepton family. Lepton family, basically these are the matter making particles which interact with the weaker forces, and it comes with many flavors, like they have the similarity to electrons and their cousins like muon and tau. But we need not go deeper into this particular aspect because there are many experiments which are telling the otherwise also. Some of the experiments say that they are the charge neutral. Charge neutral, they don't have any kind of charge, but they have certain mass. But this particular experiment, that is the standard model, has told it is a massless. So there are some contradicting observations also. But as far as an aspirant's coverage is concerned, you have to know like where this particular setup is and what all are the neutrinos. Neutrinos are the matter making particles which interact with the weak forces. That much we should be knowing. And so far the experiments are going on, and our knowledge with respect to neutrinos is not 100%. That is what we have to note, and this is kind of an open challenge which is left for the observation. So under this you have to know the neutrinos and where exactly this setup is. Next experiment is about the gravitational waves, and we have seen the questions on gravitational waves have come in the previous examination. Gravitational waves, these are nothing but the disturbance in the fabric of space and time. So these are just like waves that we observe or the ripples that we observe over the surface of the water. So this LIGO is an observatory, and this is a laser interferometer observatory. So it uses laser for the observation, and this is the leading observatory that we have. Apart from this, we have other observatories like Virgo, that is there in the Europe, and these are the first setup, or the LIGO is the first one to detect the gravitational waves. Even Einstein had mentioned about gravitational waves in his fundamental research. And so far what we know about these gravitational waves is these gravitational waves are produced due to the phenomenon that is happening in the universe, and they are like the big ticket phenomenon that are happening. Maybe the formation of black holes. We know what are the black holes. These are the places with high gravitation. Even the light cannot pass through it. And the formation of neutron stars. Comes in the life cycle of the stars or the sun-like stars. So when such big ticket events happen, the gravitational waves come into picture, and some of the experiments or the observatories like LIGO have observed through these gravitational waves. And the physical measurements for these gravitational waves need a very sensitive cutting edge technologies, so that the countries are trying to contribute. Even India is part of this particular experiment, and 9 Indian research institutions are associated with LIGO. Again, the very important departments which are the nodal agencies for this particular experiment is DAE and DST again. So please note these particular departments: Department for Atomic Energy and Department of Science and Technology. Please note this down. And again, as we know the location of the INO, that is India-based Neutrino Observatory, we should know the location of the LIGO India, that is like India setup with respect to LIGO experiment. So that is in Maharashtra. It is in the construction stage right now. We have not got the complete setup, but for the location, we should know that is the Hingoli district of Maharashtra state. So here what all we have to know, what all are gravitational waves. These are the disturbances in the fabric of space and time. And we should know what all are the important experiments that we have conducted all over the world. Important observatories like LIGO and Virgo we should understand. And we have to understand where exactly India is trying to build the observatory, that is in Maharashtra. So this is the summary of this particular slide. Next one, it is with respect to the antimatter. Antimatter, it is nothing but the opposite of the matter that we have in the universe. Many scientists like Dirac have told when there is a particular matter in this universe, there has to be antimatter. I'll give an example. If we have electron, it is a negatively charged particle. For that, there should be an antimatter or anti-electron, or simply we call that as positron. When you take the mass, it will be exactly as that of electron, but if you take the charge, that will be positively charged. But in this universe, with our observations, we have concluded that the matter is more than that of the antimatter. So the research is going on, but whatever that we have got so far, it is not so significant in this research. So we are trying to observe the antiproton. Antiproton, the setup is there in Germany, and through this again, we are trying to explore the universe. What all are the experiments that we have discussed so far? This is just to observe what is going on in the universe, or we are trying to witness the evolution of the universe, or we are trying to know how the universe has evolved. And India is the third largest contributor to this particular thing. We have a very good contribution as far as the facility for antiproton and ion research is concerned. And Indian companies are also taking part. When we take the India's contribution, or when we talk about the India's contribution, it is not only through the government contribution or the department's contribution, it is also about the private research centers which are taking part into these experiments. Maybe it is the institution like Tata Institute for Fundamental Research. So many private research institutions are also taking part in these particular experiments. And at the last, we'll be discussing two important telescopes. We come across these telescopes like Hawaiian Telescope and many other telescopes which are there in the universe. But these two things are very important. One square kilometer array, this is nothing but the arrangement of the telescopes which is spread across the hundreds of kilometers, and we have these setups in two different continents, Africa and Australia. Why we have selected Africa and Australia for this? For the cleaner atmosphere and for the radio quietness, that is with respect to the interference of the radio waves. If you take the very dense areas or the populated areas, we don't get the very clean atmosphere or the zero radio interference. So we have selected the Africa and Australia thanks to the topography of these particular continents, that is mainly the desert part of them. And these are the locations which are most remote yet accessible. We have some of the remotest places like Amazon forest and all, but they are not accessible. But these deserts are very much accessible. And this square kilometer array, you can imagine the sensitivity of this particular telescope. So basically, the unprecedented sensitivity, that is with respect to the observation or how far we can observe. So that talks about the sensitivity. And so far, we are trying to observe few of the things like the formation and the evolution of the stars or the overall universe we are trying to observe, and the cosmic magnetism we are trying to understand through this telescope, and the nature of gravity also we are trying to observe, and also we are trying to observe the life beyond earth. Whatever that we are doing in terms of understanding the universe or the exploration of the universe, it is just the human centric observation what we are doing. We are talking of, like landing on Mars, we are trying to land on um, moon. This is just the human centric thing. That is why we are trying to understand whether the life can sustain on other planets or the other celestial bodies we are trying to observe. And India is taking a very active participation in this particular experiment through the science working groups. India is part of these science working groups. And the other telescope that we have to see is the 30-meter telescope. 30-meter telescope, when we say this 30-meter, this is nothing but the diameter of the telescope or diameter of the lens of the telescope. And it is the international consortium in which India is also a proud member. The other members are nothing but Canada, China, Japan and USA. Again, when you observe, the important organizations of the departments are DST and DAE. And in India, we have a coordination center called as India TMT Coordination Center, and we are trying to contribute directly and indirectly to the astrophysics. And the this coordination center is located at Indian Institute of Astrophysics. So try to do some 5 minutes research about Indian Institute of Astrophysics and what all are the successful events or the successful research that it has conducted, and the other things like how India has contributed with some cutting edge technologies. You need not go into the nitty gritty of these particular devices, because this is very much in depth, that is not required for the civil services examination. So these are the fundamental research that we have seen so far, in which India is taking a very significant part. At the last, we'll be discussing about the issue for the tip. How much to read in science and technology for our prelims? This is a very important question which is posed by many of the students who are from humanities background, because after their 10th standard, they'll not be in touch with this science and technology, and this part is kind of a hard nut for them. But as far as the civil services exam is concerned, if you go through the old question papers, basically they are concentrating on very fundamental aspects of science, and that too the issues which are there in the current affairs we have to study. And there are many basic books for science and technology, but they are very bulky and they are very demotivating. So our concern as far as the science and technology is concerned, please try to look into our current affairs videos, which will be covering most of the aspects, and also we'll be trying to touch some of the basic parts of it, and maybe we'll be giving clue of the topics for which you have to have a small study or like 5 or 10 minutes research that will be telling. And as part of your basic understanding, whenever you come across some of the definitions or some of the experiment names or the processes, please go through some of the dictionaries or go through some of the Google pages and try to jot down few of the points. So as far as the coverage of the science and technology is concerned, don't rely upon the bigger books or the bulkier books. Basically study 6th to 10th fundamental chapters of physics, chemistry and biology. 11th and 12th, you need not concentrate much, but as far as the biology is concerned, please go through the 11th and 12th also. And in our website, if you go through the book list, we have given the chapter names also as far as the science NCERTs are concerned. And as far as the current affairs is concerned, please go through our snippets, PIB snippets. We have covered whatever the current affairs with respect to science and technology in the news that we have covered. And secondly, our capsules, go through the capsules. We have meticulously composed those capsules, and also very importantly these particular videos. Please go through this much. I think these will be enough for the science and technology questions that are coming up in the examination. Thank you very much. Read well, revise well, and solve the question papers well, and be with confidence, and don't worry about the uncertainties that is around. All the best to you all. Thank you.